Hello and welcome to Yerushalmi Berachos, stuff Pei Aleph up and Aleph. Give me 1 second for a quick check on that. Okay. A couple of quick arts about washing and making brachos on the bread and benching. Some interesting stuff that you might have seen, but a lot of the Makaros are actually from the Yerushalmi, which is always fascinating. So, Rabbi Avina Mefaked Lachamri, he instructed his donkey drivers the following: Han de Asan Mishkachin Mistachon. Whenever you find water for washing, Misvin Yadechon, you should wash your hands. Umasni al Kol Yoma, and stipulate that it's for the entire day. So, this is a very famous Gemara in the Bavli as well, in Chulin, Daf Kuf Vav and Beis. And there's a lot more to say about here. Take a look in the Charedim. He brings that down, but I'm not going to go into that exactly. But there's a very famous Rashba in Torah Sabayis, where he says in Perik Vav Halacha Dalid that basically he says, I don't understand. If you wash your hands in the morning and you don't take your mind off of it, then why do you have to make this stipulation? So he says that it must be that you need kavana in order to be matar your hands when you wash, which of course is a good chumrah. The Ra'ah in the Bedek Abayis, which is, it's kind of a funny title if you think about it. The Torah Sabayis is the laws about how to have a house, a proper Torah home, and then the Bedek Abayis is really the cleaning of the house. So it's a very interesting thing. And then of course the Rashba defends himself in the Mishmeres Sabayis, which is just, you see the Rishonim had kind of a sense of humor in how they interacted with each other. A lot of the Mefarshei Shulchan Aruch, if you kind of remember some of these funny things like the Nekudas HaKesef and the Torah Zav, and very interesting stuff. Anyway, not for now. So basically, most Rishonim argue with the Rashba and say that you actually don't need that stipulation and that kavana. Take a look at the Mishabura. He talks about this in Kuf 164.3, and there's many other discussions about this as well, but just an interesting conversation. Now, this is probably not so well known, although people might understand it. I'm not sure if it's in the Bavli. I couldn't find a Makar, but it says it explicitly that. Okay, let me zoom out. In the Bavli, it says mafurish that when you pass around the Mayim Achronim, so you should start with the katan. Now, why? What does that mean? So it says that because it's kind of an insult. Like normally when you wash to eat, so you want to give a covet to the original, to the more chashuv person. But when it comes to Mayim Achronim, it's the exact opposite. It's kind of like it's a statement that your hands are dirty. Go wash them. So you start from the katan. So there's one clarification, which is this brisa that's brought down. Seder Netilas Adayim. So ad chamisha maschil managadol. If they're up to 5 people, you begin with the most prominent one. Yosem ken maslim and a katan. Then you start with the smallest. I'm not going to go into that exactly, but this idea of 5 is found in benching, and the Gemara is talking about it in this context as well. That when someone's benching, they're supposed to be given time. That the one who's leading the zeman, is supposed to be given time so he can think about what he's doing. So therefore, whoever's getting the zeman, if there's 5 people or more, he should be from the first of the last 5 people to wash. A lot of people give it sometimes to the guy who's benching so that he knows he's benching and he can wash his hands and get prepared. But halachically, he should be at least up to, if there are 5 people, then he should be given it first so that it gives him a little bit of time to prepare. And the last thing is very interesting, that the Gemara here says that the Baal Habayis should make a bracha on the bread because he knows how to be generous with it. The Bavli says the same thing. But the Gemara here seems to say that whoever says Hamotzi is the one who should lead Berachos Hamazon, meaning that the Baal Habayis L'chora should do it, and the Baal Habayis should say Hamotzi, and because he's most generous when he gives it out, it's very awkward to give out bread at other people's houses. And then so therefore, according to the Yerushalmi, he should also bench. So why that is exactly, it's part of the kibbud. Is it like maftir, right? He gets the daven musaf. Like, what exactly is the musaf? I don't fully understand. A lot of Mefarshim don't really talk about it so much. So just sarchiin, but it's interesting because in the Bavli and Berachos daf mem vav and aleph, it says the opposite, that the Baal Habayis should be botzeah because he's most generous, but it says that he should have someone else specifically bench because then he will get a bracha from that person who's benching. So that's what we want, and that's how we paskin la halacha. But it's interesting that, again, Yerushalmi held otherwise. Maybe Yerushalmi held that it was just the Baal Habayis is included in the bracha that way, or I'm not sure exactly what the Indian of why he has to be the one that benches. Maybe it's just, it's a big mitzvah to lead everybody, so that's a zechus. We don't want to give it away. It needs as far to be explained, but those are just some interesting things that come out and actually play out in halacha l'maisa when it comes to daily or weekly benching. Have a great day.